Hello, and welcome to Screwball Psyche. And today we are going to be talking about the toxic relationship of Amber Heard and Johnny Depp. The young and beautiful Heard starred alongside the older yet equally beautiful Depp in the 2011 film The Rum Diaries. Despite the age gap, the pair had instant chemistry, and the following year they were already living together. On February 3rd, 2015, the A-list couple had an intimate marriage at their home in Los Angeles. Later, they garnered some controversy when the pair breached the stringent Australian biosecurity laws. This was during the filming of Pirates of the Caribbean: Dead Men Tell No Tales. They flew their private jet to Queensland, but did not declare to customs their 2 Yorkshire Terriers. Heard subsequently pled guilty to falsifying quarantine documents, arguing she had made a mistake whilst sleep deprived. This was named the highest profile criminal quarantine case in Australian history by The Guardian. Despite the high profile case, the duo escaped any real punishment. This was aided by a seemingly forced apology that was widely mocked for its lack of sincerity.
I am truly sorry that Pistol and Boo were not declared. Protecting Australia is important.
Declare everything when you enter Australia.
However, this was but a drop in the ocean of the controversy to come. There was a much deeper, much more disturbing secret that the couple shared. On May the 23rd, 2016, the actress filed for divorce, whilst also obtaining a restraining order. The timing of this was particularly harsh, as Depp had just lost his mother, Betty Sue Palmer, on the 20th. It was clear from the outset of their relationship that Depp and Heard had a deep, burning desire and passion for each other. But passion is always on the brink of boiling over, and this is just what happened. With 2 megastars with a sense of self-importance enforced by millions of fans, a tremendous amount of ego was at stake. It seemed neither had the humility to back down from arguments, and their fame hid a volatile, violent relationship. This was further exposed in late 2016 when an explosive video showed a drunk and out of control Depp.
Nothing happened this morning, you know that?
You wanna see crazy? I'll give you fucking crazy. Oh, you're crazy. Oh, you're crazy.
Have you drunk this whole thing this morning?
Oh, you got this going? You got this going?
I just started it.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Really?
This painted him as a bullying aggressor, although it was later revealed that this had been heavily edited to hide Heard's antagonistic actions. Heard subsequently claimed that she had been the victim of domestic abuse, releasing this lawyer statement. As a result of Amber's decision to decline giving an initial statement to the LAPD, her silence has always been used against her by Johnny's team. Amber did not provide a statement to the LAPD in an attempt to protect her privacy and Johnny's career. Johnny's team has forced Amber to give a statement to the LAPD to set the record straight as to the true facts, as she cannot continue to leave herself open to the vicious, false and malicious allegations that have infected the media. Amber has suffered through years of physical and psychological abuse at the hands of Johnny. In domestic violence cases, it is not unusual for the perpetrator's playbook to include miscasting the victim as a villain. In reality, Amber acted no differently than many victims of domestic violence, who think first of the harm that might come to the abuser, rather than the abuse they have already suffered. Amber can no longer endure the relentless attacks and outright lies launched against her character in the court of public opinion since the tragic events of May 21st. With her statement, Amber hopes to give the LAPD the opportunity to conduct an accurate and complete investigation into the events of that evening and before. If that occurs and the truth is revealed, there is no doubt that Amber's claims will be substantiated beyond any doubt, and hopefully Johnny will get the help that he so desperately needs. From the beginning, it has been Amber's desire to keep this matter as private as possible, even though LAPD officers responded to a 911 call made by a third party. The LAPD officers viewed not only the disarray that Johnny had caused in the apartment, but also the physical injuries to Amber's face. We filed the petition for dissolution of marriage at the very end of the day on Monday, May 23rd, and we did not serve Johnny with the petition at the premiere of Alice Through the Looking Glass that evening. We sent a letter to Johnny's counsel team the next morning, making it clear we wanted to keep this matter out of the media. We then held off requesting a domestic violence restraining order as we knew that Johnny was out of the country. We took the high road. Unfortunately, Johnny's team immediately went to the press and began viciously attacking Amber's character. Amber is simply a victim of domestic violence and none of her actions are motivated by money. Amber is a brave and financially independent woman who is showing the courage of her convictions by doing the right thing against Johnny's relentless army of lawyers and surrogates. The family law court is not going to be influenced by misinformation placed in the social media based on anonymous sources. Amber is a victim, Amber is a hero. A number of incidents were unearthed that allegedly showed Depp as the abuser. As listed by Variety, on April 21st, 2016, he allegedly grabbed his then wife by the hair and shoved her to the ground. On May 21st, the police were called. At the time, Heard claimed only a verbal argument occurred, but now on reflection claims Depp had struck her with a phone and pulled her hair. On May 27th, Heard issued a restraining order and TMZ released a court-documented statement. I live in fear that Johnny will return to the residence, unannounced, to terrorise me, physically and emotionally. Of course, this was around the time of the Me Too movement, and Johnny caught the brunt of the political direction of the time. It was being brandished at the time that all women should be believed, completely dismissing the idea of due process. Heard became heavily involved in activism after her divorce, raising awareness of domestic abuse. She was even made an ambassador for women's rights with a focus on gender-based violence by ACLU. Many were hailing her as a brave survivor, using her voice to strengthen others suffering from abuse. She even donated her $7 million divorce settlement to charity, despite Depp's team, among others, claiming she was doing it for the money.
Then he threw his arm back and he threw the phone with what appeared to be very, as hard as he could, at my face. Put my head down. He grabs my head, takes a fistful of my hair.
However, throughout it all, one strange thing kept happening. Despite the media pressure, and despite the seemingly obviousness of it all, Depp denied any wrongdoing. In 2019, he brought a seemingly unwinnable $50 million defamation lawsuit against Heard. This was after she wrote a Me Too article in the Washington Post detailing her domestic abuse history. But by this time, the movement had already begun to lose traction after a number of false claims. And so, when Depp brought the lawsuit, the tide had begun to turn politically. The first hint of Depp's innocence came from an unlikely source, his ex-wife, Vanessa Paradis. She released a statement to TMZ which read, "In all the years I have known Johnny, he has never been physically abusive with me, and this looks nothing like the man I lived with for 14 wonderful years." What then shocked the world was his claim that he himself was a victim, and that Heard's claims were a hoax to cover this up. Surely a ludicrous claim. He stated, "I have denied Miss Heard's allegations vehemently since she first made them in May 2016, when she walked into court to obtain a temporary restraining order with painted on bruises that witnesses and surveillance footage show she did not possess each day of the preceding week. I will continue to deny them for the rest of my life. I never abused Miss Heard or any other woman. She was a perpetrator and I was a victim." While mixing prescription amphetamines and non-prescription drugs with alcohol, Miss Heard committed innumerable acts of domestic violence against me, often in the presence of a third-party witness, which in some instances caused me serious bodily harm. Old scandals were revisited. As published by TMZ, Heard claimed that Depp had cut off his own finger, dipping it in paint and writing, "Starring Billy Bob," on the wall. This was after it was claimed she had had an affair with actor Billy Bob Thornton. However, as published by the Daily Mail, he refutes these claims. He claims that Amber threw a bottle of vodka at him, which smashed and severed his finger, after he asked her to sign a prenuptial agreement. He further claims he developed MRSA from this, which could have cost him his life. Incredibly, audio recordings were recently leaked to the press, which seem to prove Heard's guilt. In leaked recordings, she admitted to hitting him, though she played down the seriousness of it.
I said, no, tell him what just happened.
And I lied!
And that you punched me in the thing and you
figured
in
it
the face.
out.
And I watched you lie. And then
I didn't punch you,
and
by
then
the way. I'm sorry that I didn't hit
punched
you across the face in a proper slap, but I was hitting you. It was not punching you. Babe, you're not punched.
Don't tell me what it feels like to be punched.
You know, you've been in a lot of fights, been around a long time. I know. Yeah.
No, we're gonna have a closed fist.
You get punched.
You got hit. I'm sorry I hit you like this, but I did not punch you. I did not deck you. I was hitting you.
You can't
I don't know
deck
what
me.
the motion of my actual hand was, but you're fine. I did not hurt you. I did not punch you. I was hitting you.
She is also on tape admitting to using weapons by throwing pots and pans at him.
Just because I've thrown pots and pans does not mean that you come and knock on the door. Just because there are vases does not mean that you come and knock on the door.
Really, I should just let you throw.
I'm not saying that. You're saying that. You're putting words in my mouth and then making non sequiturs.
I'm giving you a situation.
No, you're trying to justify how you don't or do come to the door based on whether I throw pots and pans. It's irrelevant.
I'm justifying how you seem to think that there's this cowardice in me that runs away and I don't fight for you.
And you're justifying that by saying I throw pots and pans? Okay, cool. Let's talk about everything you do, Rob.
Yeah.
Why are you trying to justify who throws things based on whether or not you come knocking on the door?
Because that is a irrational and violent maneuver. So a man would want to get out of that area so that he doesn't get so fucking angry that he actually does pop the wife.
This also showed that Depp would walk away when any violence started, and she is on tape mocking him for that. An article by E! News alleges that in his defamation lawsuit, Depp accuses Amber of inviting Elon Musk to stay overnight shortly after a fight. As the pair were later romantically involved, it is unlikely this was platonic. This was backed up by Eastern Columbia building personnel that worked at Depp's penthouse. They claimed they let Musk into the building numerous times late at night. The actor James Franco has also been subpoenaed by the law team as cozy surveillance footage emerged of Heard and himself in an elevator at the LA home shared by her and Depp. This was after an alleged attack by the Pirates of the Caribbean star. Another recording had her on tape telling Johnny that no one will believe that she wore fake makeup to fake injuries. But it is unclear she said this because it is a ridiculous notion, because it didn't happen, or because she feels people will believe her regardless.
And it would be unbelievable to imagine that either I'm in a secret fake club, or B, I've had
A secret what?
I've had a secret fight club, or that I have been plotting to do this for 3 years, and while taking pictures of it and documenting it, just saving it up for the right time when I'm not asking for any money and have nothing financial to gain from it. That no one is going to believe that. No one is going to believe that one of the two alternatives, either I'm in a fight club, or I've been going through hair and makeup, or going through makeup through all these years, where I have corroborating text messages between people that match those dates of those timestamp validated photos of I would either corroboration between people hearing us, or corroboration of next day, Whitney sending text message to Kevin, him responding, or, the kind of stuff like between me and people in your life. It is insanely cross-corroborated than it is a plan. I'm going to put makeup on myself and take pictures throughout the years and just sit on it for years.
But Heard's own friend and interior decorator, Laura Devonier, strengthened the hoax claims. She alleges that there were no visible marks on Heard at the time of the alleged incident. The quote, as published on International Business Times, reads, "On those days I worked with Amber, retrieved packages for her, rode elevators with her, and saw her up close and in person. On none of those days immediately following the abuse claims did I observe any signs of physical abuse or injury, including redness, swelling, cuts, bruises or damage of any kind. I never saw Amber injured in any way, although I am now aware that she has had many different abuse claims. She also fueled the speculation that Amber has anger issues, stating, "I witnessed Amber being verbally abusive towards her former assistant Kate, screaming at her on the phone." Johnny Depp officially released a 22-page official declaration to the Fairfax County Circuit Court to discredit Heard. The defence team have taken the stance that she faked her injuries using makeup to make Johnny look like an abuser. It is also claimed in 2009 that she assaulted her partner at the time, Tasha Van Ree, allegedly proving a history of domestic assault. Bizarrely, Depp also claimed that he was punched in the face by Heard after he was late for her birthday party. He also alleges that the next morning she or one of her friends defecated on his bed before leaving to visit Coachella. After recent audio leaks, the hashtag Justice for Johnny has been trending and petitions against Amber Heard have been launched. There is an active Change.org petition to remove Amber Heard from Aquaman 2, which has almost 350,000 signatures and counting. Another recent petition wants to have Heard removed as spokesperson from L'Oreal. As things stand, Amber Heard certainly seems to have been the aggressor in this toxic relationship. With mounting pressure, she may be obliterated by cancel culture. Depp seems extremely confident in his innocence, with more ammo to release as proof. However, with the event unfolding, there will undoubtedly be more twists and turns along the way in the case, especially since both legal teams are recently throwing the name Harvey Weinstein out there. I hope you enjoy following me on this journey, and don't forget to subscribe for more.